everyone. Thanks so much for joining us. It's almost 6 p.m. on a Saturday, and you're here listening to a panel about crypto and AI. So pat yourselves on the back. Just give it up. Yes. Thanks for being here. Yeah. Really great that Lunar Strategy and the team was able to put this together. Really amazing venue. Really happy to be here today. For those that don't know, I'm Ashton. You probably already just heard my name, but really excited to have this conversation. We're going to be getting into what is ethical AI, more specifically in the crypto space, but in general, looking at how do we prepare for this huge innovation potential that's happening with AI, and what can we start to think about, how can we be cautious, but also still inspire innovation with this technology. So yeah, super excited to get into it. I will let Viv start and introduce herself to the crowd as well.
So hi everybody, I'm Viv. I'm the founder of Phase 3, where we do certification of AI models on chain. My background is I have a PhD in computer science in France and a postdoc at Harvard, and I worked for more than 10 years as a scientist developing AI algorithms for healthcare, and from there I develop with the boom of AI, using it everywhere, my concern and my care for having fair AI models, or for having clear notion of how good or bad can the AI models be, so that we can choose wisely. So thank you for having me here.
I'm Jason Rowlett. I'm the founder of 4Token. It's a media outlet for the tokenized RWA market. It's specifically customized to track that new and burgeoning market. And I'm a journalist and podcaster with that, and we're also launching now a market data analysis platform on the other side of that. So we're very excited with this new market and the new technology that's come out. And I'm also a consultant with for the MiCA laws here in Europe, being that they are coming into effect at the end of this year. There's a lot of things coming up with that, so it's a good time to get familiar with those. But that's me.
Nice. Bren, go ahead.
Yeah, so is it loud enough, or? Okay. I do ecosystem growth for Seer Network. We're doing AI and data automation on top of DeepIn infrastructure. So basically, we're building the data infrastructure for the next generation of consumer AI applications. So that's it. Very short.
Hi, everybody. My name is Monica. I'm the founder of a marketing agency called Caliber, and I also have the pleasure of being fractional CMO of Ape Terminal. I have the pleasure of having a front row seat in looking how AI projects do marketing in the crypto space, plus how regular protocols and projects implement AI tools for their marketing goals. So shortly about me.
All right, let's give another round of applause for our panelists. Keep it light. There we go. Thank you, thank you. I want to ask, who here is working on a crypto project? Raise a hand. Okay. Who here is working on an AI project? Okay. Who's working on a crypto and AI project? Okay. Cool. All right. Good to know. Good to know. Well, yeah. Thanks for coming and listening. I have a first question for all the panelists here. A lot of people have said that the cat is out of the bag with AI, right? And with that comes a lot of potential danger, a lot of innovation, a lot of things happening very quickly. And should we be cautious about that? Should we have fear about that with what it could achieve or what it could do? And what do you feel about the current status of AI, and specifically within the crypto space maybe as well?
So for me, it's like, obviously we have to be cautious because we don't know yet how can impact on the society. Because if the AI is biased and everybody's using AI and decisions are taken over by AI and not by humans, and they are all biased, then we will end up with a part of society that is excluded from the world, basically. So we need to be cautious, but obviously we don't need to have fear. We are all really excited about AI, and we all want to use it, and we are all using it. So I think the most important part is that we should own it and be responsible with that, so that we can develop the tools and the metrics that are proper, so that we can have a good AI in the world today. Like that we can be part of deciding how we want that AI to work.
Makes sense.
I would say, I agree with Viv, we don't have to fear it. I think that we should be cautious of it. There are certainly threats that are to be taken seriously. I see it as that there is historical precedent for curtailing technology to work for the betterment of humanity. The ethics of AI, I would say, are to serve at the behest of the betterment of humanity. We can see in history, since the smartphone is a derivative of World War II technology. Technologies that were used to create destruction ultimately came to used in a product in generally peacetime, so to speak, post-war, the post-war era. Control panels, a touch screen. The data encryption came from the Enigma machine. Radar is the root of Wi-Fi and cellular. There's all kinds of ways that sort of destructive technology have been honed to be safe and productive as they are today. Certainly, any technology can be used for criminal or destructive behavior, but I would point to the historical precedent that we as human beings have been able to use that for good in general, and I think we should remember that and focus on that as we move forward with AI.
Yeah, so probably thinking the same. Technology in and by itself is always neutral. Right now, if you see what we're using AI for, it's mostly to enhance your efficiency. And I think there is this period where you have this big arbitrage where people are using it very efficiently. They're going to do a jump in where they are probably economically. And we have to make sure that we're not creating differences that are too big or too big to catch up. So in that sense, definitely don't fear the technology, but you need to be cautious. Because like with anything that you use, if we use it as an extension of ourselves, we all know we do bad things and good things. So let's make sure that we limit the bad things that you can do with it and maximize the good things that we can do with it and get it in as many people, their hands, and as mostly democratize it as much as possible so we can all move forward together and have benefit from it, because it definitely has amazing benefits.
Yeah, I agree as well. I think that it's not only about being cautious, it's probably also about being a supervisor of sorts. My opinion, a subjective one, is that we are, just as Web3 was born and we were experiencing this feeling of being on the verge of a revolution, and it's currently either, even if it's in its early stages, we still acknowledge that AI is in its absolute infancy, but it's also creating a revolution. And even though it was born out of a good cause, good goals, there are always people, as in with Web3, that find ways how to use it for wrong purposes. So I think definitely needs a supervisor so that we wouldn't end up with the situation, just for example, as the internet was also made for the people, but we now have organizations that are the centric figures that control the data and similar. Let's just hope be a supervisor that it doesn't happen with AI as well. So that's my opinion.
Nice. All great points, for sure. I think it's about, of course, being cautious. It is a new technology. There's a lot you can do with it, but definitely being an advisor, looking at, what's it doing? How can it become an extension of us to really produce that extra productivity and boost more positiveness, right? Yeah. As to what we're able to build with it, what we're able to do with it to enhance our lives. So yeah, some great points there for sure. So I guess diving more into the biases that AI can have. I know, Viv, you work a lot with understanding these models and what biases and what data kind of goes into it, right? How do we help these AI models become more transparent, more trustworthy in terms of the data that they're using and also how it looks for the end consumer?
Yeah, so like the AI models that we have today are not like, we haven't reached super intelligence yet. So what they are doing is really taking the data and replicating that. So basically, we are living in a world that is really discriminative, and so the data that we have from it is biased. And if we don't do anything about it, then our AI models are going to be replicating the same bias. So there are many techniques to fix for these things. There are at the data level, data level. There are also at the inference level and also at the coding. So there are different techniques to improve this. But I think what's more important is that there are also metrics that can tell us if the model was biased, or if the data was biased, or if it's creating any discriminatory patterns at inference, for example, or if the techniques that the coders were using were properly. So what we are trying to do at phase 3 is that we want to create certifications of the models at these different levels and also at these different dimensions, because it's not the same a model that is discriminative towards gender or towards region. It might be different for different applications. Maybe if you are talking about a model that you are going to use for a loan, it's not the same when you are going to work on healthcare. Maybe on healthcare you care more about gender because there are diseases that are different. But maybe on a loan, you don't want to discriminate on that pattern, but you might want to discriminate on another variable. So it's not going to be that there is this model that is perfect for everybody, or this model is unbiased with, like perfectly unbiased. That doesn't make sense, really. So what we are trying to do is to create really transparency on the metrics on the different dimensions, so that then we as users, we can take informed decisions. So when I'm going to take an LLM model, then I can know if it was biased towards this dimension or another one. If I'm going to use the model for giving loans to people, then I should know the impacts of that model. So I think there are techniques for improving this, but what's more important is that today we don't know anything about it. We are using models, and we don't know if they were performing well. We don't know if they had biases. We don't know which data they were trained with. And so what we want to create is transparency on that dimension, so that the next time that you are going to use the model, it's not like, well, I take this because people are saying that it works fine, but it's just, I have a list of how all these models are performing towards these dimensions, and I'm like, oh, okay, for my usage, this is what I need, and this will be fine for my users.
Yeah, no, great point on that, for sure. I think it's about, I think in the crypto space, you have auditors, right, that they understand what the code is, and they have like a secondary view as to what's happening here, is it safe, all of that. And I think with AI, you kind of need to have that transparency to understand this is how it was built, this is why I can trust it, this is a way to verify some of those things that you probably aren't aware of these days when you're using some of these models. So I think it's super interesting. And to that point on transparency, I think it's difficult these days when there's all these AI agents, or there's AI-generated content, or things out there it's hard to trust whether it's real, made by a real person, or whether it's a real video or not. And then, how do you kind of go about maybe verifying that, right? We talk about using on-chain data and the crypto space to help to verify that transparency. I want to ask Bren specifically, what do you think about? All right.